What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing another video, and today we're going to be talking about the MVP race between Mookie Betts and Ronald Acuna Jr. Before we do anything, can you guys please smash the subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's get into it. Alright, one quick thing before the video starts. Guys, I'm sorry I haven't been posting for a while. I think it's been 2 weeks since I posted my last short. I've been busy. I'm trying to make time, but here we go. We're back. Alright, so let's really get into it. Alright, first thing we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about stats, metrics, and all the things that statistically prove which one's better. And then after that, we're going to start talking about like how valuable they actually are to the team and how they actually are not with stats and stuff. Alright, so first, let's start off with Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts has been having a really amazing season, batting .309 with 39 home runs, driving in 105, and stealing 13 bases. Right off the rip, you might notice the .309 average with 39 home runs is very impressive, with the 105 RBIs, and also putting in consideration that the season's not even over yet. So there's still progress for there to be more and more. So far, he has an OPS of 1,000 and an OPS plus of 167 with a slugging of 590. If we go over to Acuna's stats a little, we can see that he has 40 home runs, batting .336, driving in 101, stealing 68 bases, and as many of you already know, he's trying to go for the 40-70 season, which he's only 2 stolen bases away because I think he achieved the feat of 40 home runs already. So if we look at some other stats here, 1,000 OPS, about a 600 slugging, and 167 on the OPS plus. And then another metric, which is like how valuable they are to the team, is WAR. Ronald Acuna Jr. has an 8.0 WAR, and then if we look at Mookie Betts, he has an 8.1 WAR. Most people think that, WAR is very important, but statistically, it shows like how much they're contributing to the team. So some people might just jump to conclusions by just looking at the WAR, but we're actually going to be like looking at like other stuff like here, because he has an 8.1 or 8.0 WAR around Acuna Jr., which is lower than Mookie Betts. But also when we look at the stats, he has a higher batting average, he has more home runs, more stolen bases, and only 4 less RBIs. So yeah, it might statistically show with the WAR that Mookie Betts is better, but in reality that may not be the case. It's because they both have an OPS plus of 167 and in a regular OPS, Ronald Acuna Jr. leads with 1,010. One stat that really close is in slugging. Ronald Acuna Jr. with 595 on the slugging, and Mookie Betts with 590. Also put in consideration that a normal slugging, maybe like 500, maybe a little lower than 500. So putting in a 590 on the slugging is very crazy for both of them. And one more thing about the OPS plus. The OPS plus shows how much better you're better than a normal player. If you have an OPS plus of 167, for example, Mookie Betts, that means he's 67% better than most MLB players because the MLB average is 100. Then another key stat here is .410 on base percentage. So not only that he's hitting for average, power, he's also getting on base, which is very crucial, especially he has him being third. I'm not completely sure, but from the games I've seen, he's been the third, second, and sometimes even leadoff. So getting that on-base percentage alone is very valuable to where he is in the team. And comparing to Ronald Acuna Jr., he has a .415 on-base percentage compared to .410 with a higher average and a higher home run. So he's another thing to think about with Acuna is that, like I said, with Mookie Betts, he's hitting for average, power, and on base. Ronald has a higher average. He's also hitting for average. He's also hitting for power, has more home runs. He's also getting on base a lot. He has a higher on base percentage. And then I forgot to say this for Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts has 13 stolen bases, which is incredibly low compared to Acuna's 68. Which, don't get me wrong, most players, I mean, considering who Mookie is, he's a very well defensive outfielder. He also has 6 Gold Gloves in his career. You would think he would have a little more stolen bases, but 13 is not terrible. It is really not bad. But, I mean, again, you can't really look off one stat, because that stat alone, you can see Acuna's way better. But again, like with the WAR, you can't really compare that one's better because of one stat. So, let's see. So yeah, so on base or stolen base 13 for Betts and 68 for Acuna. So when we put Acuna in consideration, he has a higher average, more home runs, 4 less RBIs, and he's higher on base, so he's getting on base more, but only by 5 points, considering 410, 415, where they are is very close. So yeah. Let's see. So, Ronald Acuna Jr. has 625 at bats compared to 564 to Betts. All right, now we're going to be talking about more like how valuable they are to the team and how much they are really contributing when you watch them play. Not like an occasional home run every once in a while. That's not too valuable. All right. So first of all, what we're going to start off talking about right off the bat is that the Braves are having a tremendous season, leading the MLB with wins, and also leading the MLB, like I think a month ago. I think they still might be leading some now. They were leading like home runs, runs driven in, runs in the first inning, RBIs, batting average, and all those stats just from the Braves. And which I believe they still lead some categories now. I don't think as many as they were like a month or two ago, but still. So Acuna has been for the while of the year the clear MVP because he's just been so valuable to the team. I mean, I've watched many Braves games, and I feel like every game I watch, Acuna always gets on base, he always gets a stolen base, he always scores, the Braves are always winning. I mean, especially as a Mets fan, I see the Braves a lot, so it's kind of like, I always see Acuna on base, stealing bases, and I always see him scoring and driving him in, and I mean, also as a leadoff hitter, he has 40 home runs. I mean, I said we're gonna go like how they actually are, not like stats, but like, I mean, valuable to the team. I mean, he's batting .330 as a leadoff hitter. I mean, some teams struggle to bat .260 with a leadoff hitter. So that can already show like the Braves are scoring a lot because he's getting on base and he is providing to the team. Probably a big chunk of why the Braves are doing how well they are right now is probably because of this man, Ronald Acuna Jr. I mean, he's just so valuable to the team right now. Which if they lost him, they might have not a downfall, but like they might not play nearly as well as they could with him, because he is just driving them in. Like I said, he is just doing what the team needs, doing it when they need it, and also, I mean, he's getting on base and he's providing to the team in the first inning, which is very, very important, because some teams, they get just annoyed and then just don't come back and they just like have a terrible game for the rest of the game. Because if your team can start off the game hot, then your team has a great chance of winning that game. So, yeah. Now we're going to be going in talking about Mookie Betts. As a Mets fan, like I said, I don't really see much. I mean, I've seen the Dodgers a couple times. Also, putting in consideration with Mookie Betts is that the Dodgers are having a pretty good season. I mean, maybe not as the best, or maybe not as good as they ever had. I mean, also considering the Braves are just taking over the whole MLB, so everybody's considering or paying attention to them. But the Dodgers are having a good season, not nearly as good as the Braves. But Mookie Betts, like I said with Acuna, he is probably one of the big contributors to the team right now. I mean, look at this dude. He's like batting really probably normally he's batting like top 3 in the order. So that's like again a 310 on base or a 410 on base with like a 309, 310 average. I mean, that's just very valuable to the team because that means he's getting on base. He's driving in the leadoff hitter or maybe whoever higher up in the order, maybe like a batter or two. And he is providing for the team. And again, we look here, like I said, for Acuna, we're not getting into statistics and that stuff. He has an 8.1 WAR, which, I mean, like Trout, he had like a 9, or he had like an 8.5 WAR in one of his crazy MVP years. So, like, I mean, Betts has been very valuable. Not as valuable as Acuna, but he is still being a very productive right fielder. Another thing to think about, though, is that Mookie Betts, the past 3 years, has been the past 3 months, he's probably been the best player in baseball. I mean, Acuna's been hot the whole season, but he was crazy off the beginning of the year. He's still crazy now, but Betts, he's been just on a different planet the last 2-3 months. So, I mean, like I said, it's hard to compare them both, for how valuable they are, because Betts, it's kind of a little easier because Betts has really been contributing to the team, a lot since the past 3 months compared to Acuna, which is the whole season, because Acuna has been just the best player in baseball the whole year, but in the last 2-3 months, Betts has been the best player because he's just been hot and he just wasn't this level earlier in the year, which could affect his votes and ballot in the MVP. So, one last thing to hover over is that, I mean, Ronald, like I said, the Braves are just having such a good season, one of the best ever in the last couple decades. So it's really hard to say that Acuna is the MVP. I mean, he's having a tremendous season. So is the Braves. Betts having a really good season, but the Dodgers not as well as the Braves. So if you were to ask me, I would say Acuna, but very close margin, very, very close. But like I said, I think Acuna should be the MVP. Write down in the comments down below who do you think it is going to be. And guys, thanks for watching the video. If you've been watching the video this long, come watching till the end. Please subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.